By the way, if anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself.
In regard to advertising, which you mentioned just a little ago, in your writing, particularly in Enemies of Freedom, you attack Madison Avenue, which controls most of our television and radio, advertising, newspaper advertising, and so forth. Why do you consistently attack the advertising agency?
Well, no, I think that advertisement plays a very necessary role, but the danger, it seems to me, in a democracy is this. I mean, what does a democracy depend on? A democracy depends on the individual voter making an intelligent and rational choice. I mean, what does a democracy depend on? A democracy depends on the individual voter making an intelligent and rational choice for what he regards as his enlightened self-interest in any given circumstance. But what these people are doing, I mean, what both for their particular purposes, for selling goods, and the dictatorial propagandists are doing, is to try to bypass the rational side of man and to appeal directly to these unconscious forces below the surface.
And other people have remembered, and they come back to us and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because...
Stay tuned for a preview of next week's interview. Till then, Mike Wallace.
Taste about you. Have some decency about you. Be a murderer fondly remembered. Take out those hack demons from the earth. Leave the good guys to live on. Shall you? Okay! I believe we live in the opposite universe where goodness is murdered and mediocrity thrives. It always seems that way, doesn't it? John Lennon murdered, John Kennedy murdered, Robert Kennedy murdered, Martin Luther King murdered, Gandhi murdered, Jesus murdered. Reagan shot, wounded, cancer 8 times. That fucker still walks. Yeah. See signs in Texas by the road that say dirt for sale. This is the land of opportunity. This is the Antichrist.
Let's move on. It's time for a new philosophy, folks. One based on, yes, the principles of Jesus, which were love your brother as yourself, because you know what? He is yourself. Literally. We are literally all one. Okay. The body is an illusion, you see, because God doesn't create things that can be destroyed. Because He's God. Dig it? We have miscreated this world. It's a dream. What's that old song? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life. What a dream. See, we knew it as children. We forgot it since.
It is essentially the application of propaganda methods, the most violent kind, to individuals. It's not a shotgun method like the advertising method. It's a way of getting hold of the person and playing both on his physiology and his psychology till he really breaks down, and then you can implant a new idea in his head. I mean, the descriptions of the methods are really blood-curdling when you read them, and not only the methods applied to political prisoners, but the methods applied, for example, to the training of the young
Asleys of the world. This is the Antichrist. They are sacred. Go to nature.
I just think it's interesting to see how people act on their beliefs, you know what I mean? Because all your beliefs, they're just that. They're nothing. There's how you were taught and raised. That doesn't make them real. That's why I always recommend a psychedelic experience, because it does make you realize everything. And I realized our true nature is spirit, not body, that we are eternal beings, and God's love is unconditional. There's nothing we can ever do to change that. It is only our illusion that we are separate from God or that we are alone. In fact, the reality is we are one with God and He loves us. Now, if that isn't a hazard to this country...
Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which have lived many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace.
Well, the next time that I talk to you then, perhaps we should investigate further the possibility of the establishment of that kind of a society, where the drones work for the queen bees up above.
Well, yes, but I must say I still believe in democracy. If we can make the best of the creative activities of the people on top, plus those of the people on the bottom, so much the better.
Mr. Huxley, I surely thank you for spending this half hour with us, and I wish you Godspeed, sir.
Thank you.
Aldous Huxley finds himself these days in a peculiar and disturbing position. A quarter of a century after prophesying an authoritarian state in which people were reduced to ciphers, he can point at Soviet Russia and say, I told you so. The crucial question, as he sees it now, is whether the so-called free world is shortly going to give Mr. Huxley the further dubious satisfaction of saying the same thing about us.
The most lyrical accounts of how necessary it is to get hold of the children, because then they will be loyal brand buyers later on.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, again, you just translate this into political terms. The dictator says they will be loyal ideology buyers.
Come on down to Land. I checked it out. You don't let a guy selling dirt slip by.